However, and this was when I was 21, however, I decided that before I did that, I must at least give myself the chance of finding out why I was suffering so much. It didn't make any sense to me for me to suffer. I wasn't in any dangerous or traumatic or abusive environment anymore. I actually had a good life at that point. I lived in quite an affluent area in London. I had everything that I wanted, all the material things. I had a good job. I was popular, yet I was just dark inside. I hadn't known a day of light. At that age, at 21, I'd never seen what it even felt like to be happy, because I had all of these horrible conditions. But that was the beginning of my journey, when I decided to give myself a chance and to at least find out, why was I suffering so much? And it wasn't even just about me. It was about me at that age looking around the world. And I lived in Spain at that point. I'd been on my own since I was 16. I'd moved around. I'd lived in London. I'd lived in Nottingham. I'd come across a few people at that stage, and I realised everybody seems to be in the state of certain suffering. One degree or another, everybody seems to be bloody suffering. And I couldn't understand, what is this? When a baby's born, they don't seem to suffer. They seem to be fairly content. So what is it with the human condition? And animals don't seem to suffer unless you treat them badly. Right? When you watch the animals on your documentaries, they seem fairly content. Now, they live with the knowledge that any given moment, there's starvation, there's death, there's all of these things, yet they can be quite content in themselves. What is it with us? I thought, why is it that we seem to be in this state of suffering? Why do we need to smoke cigarettes, put the poison? Why do we need to overeat, overdrink, overdo all of these things? Why can we not just enjoy things? Enjoy these worldly gifts or riches without overindulging and actually then destroying the host, which doesn't seem to make any sense. The animals don't destroy the hosts. So it was this question at the age of 21 that changed everything for me. And that's why when I started here tonight, I said to you, I'm not here to teach you. You already know the answers. It's already within you. If you didn't, you wouldn't be here. You already know. We already know. I already knew. All I needed was the life circumstances in order to bring out the knowledge that was already within me. And that's what all you need, is the life circumstances in order to bring out the knowledge that's already within you. And you will find it in the people that you meet, and especially in the suffering that you go through. When you go through suffering, you begin to ask a question. And when you start asking the question, that's when you start to gain the wisdom. And that's when a light bulb comes on and you sit there and say, oh my gosh, you know what? I knew that. You just hadn't realized it yet. And this is where circumstances come in to help the knowledge that you already have inside you come to the realization where it becomes your truth. Because I'm not giving you truth, I'm only giving you my truth. It's not yours. You've got to, what I give to you is my knowledge. You take it as knowledge, and then you have to live for it and go through the experiences for it to become your truth. And this is the difference between knowledge and truth sometimes. People think because they read a lot of books that they have the truth. You don't experience truth until you've lived what you've read. The rest of it's just hope. Whatever you read and you say, oh, that's lovely, yeah, it's really nice, and you feel all lovely and flowery when you walk out, and then you lose it. Because it's not lived in you yet. You have to wait till the circumstances of what your being needs to go through, because each of you are evolving to a certain level. So you cannot help but attract the right circumstances in order to move you up to that level. And that level is the level of peace and contentment, of joy. It is the level where you understand it all. It's the level where you see suffering as integral to your growth. Not as suffering as, oh my gosh, I can't do suffering, this is terrible, I mustn't. No, you see it as, it is how it is. It is a part of my evolutionary growth, and for God's sakes, when I get to the point where everything is peaceful and I resolve all issues in my life just like that, because I have the knowledge, you thank every second that you had suffering. When someone comes to you then is in a state of suffering, which they come to me all the time, it doesn't bring me down. I look at them and I think, this is wonderful. This is great. Because, listen, not because I'm sitting there all blasé about, no, I've been there too. I know what it's like to be in the depths of your suffering. But I also know that this is a catalyst for your growth. And it's not just so I can be stronger. No, it's so that you can be content and happy and joy and at peace.